going on? Uh, I just was remembering the good old days, man. You know, back when remember all these anti-crack cocaine cartoons that they had back in the day. And you know, now that looking back on it and thinking about it, it was like these cartoons and these anti-crack messages on TV actually promoted crack because no one even heard of crack. When crack was first around, it was just like it came out of nowhere. Everywhere was crack, 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 crack. You know, and I noticed, you know, Reagan and Bush had these crack campaigns where they were fighting crack. And, you know, and then later it comes out that the the government is all tied up in with this cocaine game. I mean, and not only just that, even the heroin boom in Harlem that preceded the crack boom in the 80s was more drugs getting brought in by some military things. And then basically what it was is like they were trying to covertly gain money to fight wars in different countries, you know, and bring democracy. You know what I'm saying? That no one wants anywhere because they done been there, done that. I mean, that's not real democracy. That's a false democracy code word. So don't confuse when I say that kind of democracy with like what real democracy does stand for. I'm just saying there's the double speech going on out here where they use terms like that to convince you that it's a good thing when it's not. But anyway, yes, in this 80s, you know, this crack boom, and they were all on TV promoting it. And then come to find out, the government is down there working with the drug cartels and what, like Pablo Escobar and these types of people, and taking I mean, basically this is when you fund both sides of a war. This is funding both sides of the drug war. It's like you have intelligence from the beginning where the cocaine is going, who it's going to, and then you're also got the intelligence of these agencies that are coming to stop it. So you're feeding both of these industries at the same time and profiting from both. It's just like the Chinese building the railroads opium situation where they sold the workers opium and then bought colleges with it. And there's your skull and bones. You know, the founders of that, basically. And then, you know, you got these same people all up in the CIA doing the cocaine. Same people doing the heroin in the 70s. The same people doing the Afghani heroin right now. You know, I mean, this stuff is, it's insanical. But I mean, here's another thing. Supposedly the government, once again, the same usual damn suspects, CIA, created crack in a laboratory and then taught people out in the street how to make it. And then because it was it's more of a, it's like a dummy drug. If you get on the crack, I mean, from people I've seen out there, like crack is the most destructive financially drug there is. I mean, and through all these problems, it's going to cause all kinds of life problems for you if you're on that shit. So, I mean, yes, it was an evil, diabolical, sinister ploy from the beginning. I mean, and unfortunately, the system has been created this way to create this loophole to create these situations where these type of crack booms and underground black markets happen in the first place. And once again, people like to blame the symptom. The symptom is crack dealers, crackheads, crack wars, police everywhere, roughing everyone up. This is a symptom, but it's not the cause. The cause is internal corruption, for like all the way. Because, I mean, the CIA is, the underground title is the Cocaine Import Agency. So, I mean, It's crazy. Like Freeway, the real Freeway, Ricky Ross. There's one example. You can also there's a documentary called, it's like a documentary movie. It's called there's two of them I'll give you. The one's called The Cocaine Cowboys, and this is more some government working with high crack dealers and cocaine drug lords from other countries, multinationals. And then the other one, it's Rockefeller Dame Dash, I think, production, which I don't really like these guys that much anymore. Now that I see all the people they're tied into, it's kind of irritating. It feels like a betrayal, but anyway, this was a good movie they made. It was called Mr. Untouchable, documentary about a heroin dealer. Like it's better than, like, they made that movie with Denzel. What is that called, man? Where he was the drug guy, man, the heroin guy, Real Gangster. Wait, American Gangster. I mean, that's that's based on some truths, but it's still presented in a way to where it's like the movie will make you believe you know more than actually knowing the real deal history behind it. Which they made documented History Channel, A&E, different types of documentaries and biographies of these people's lives in some cases, so you can go find some information about it. But I thought in Mr. Untouchable, they did a pretty good job making that movie, though. So I got props on that. And it just shows you how, like, there's always internal. Someone is looking the other way. Someone is profiting. Someone is benefiting from the system. And once you start to, you got a green light for a time, for a season, and then they're going to utilize you as some kind of reason to make a new law. You know what I'm saying? And then it only makes more profit, because the more you outlaw something, the more profitable you make it. And then on the other side, you got your homeland military industrial complex. Because I'm telling you, the narco cops, these guys are like the damn military. They are just as mafia as the mafia. Because this just happens when you're in any kind of war, information war, war on poverty, all these things. You start to adopt the tactics of the people that you're against. It's like the Indians and the French, and the Indians and the Americans. They adopted each other's tactics just from having interaction with each other. So it happens. So there's always an exchange of ideas and tactics, and then there's reactions to them. It's like football. You got all these different options where you can run these defenses and offenses, and then it's the same thing. You scale the stuff up, scale it down. It's all applicable if you are really hearing what I'm saying. If you can't see it, man, well, it's not necessarily my fault that you can't see it, because it's out there if you just look at it. Just really look at it for what it is. It is a phony prohibition, drug war, propaganda war. It's reefer madness on a large scale. It's just basically, why won't they allow hemp to be grown for industrial uses, not medical or pharmaceutical? Because there's an industry of cotton already built and paper from trees. And these people can't stand to lose their profits, so they lobby to keep it illegal. And same thing with marijuana, things like this, or even drugs, because what's the difference between drugs from the street or the ones you get from the doctor? A lot of times the ones you get from the doctor ain't even legal. So, once again, this is the left-right paradigm, two wings of the same bird, all over again, because the prohibition is a mindset, and it's not really about what's moral, it's about what's profitable. And people got to snap out of this, that the people that make the laws and the institutions are somehow moral, when they never, it's never any, everything has never nothing has ever been done out of morality. Profitability And then once you're so rich, what's beyond profit is power, control, life and death. I wield the power of godhood, life and death. Basically, I mean, that's the complex that these people get. So it's always about profitability and not morality. So, you know, you gotta just accept this, man. Accept it. Stop resisting. Stop clinging to the paradigm. You know, when you know damn well it's hypocritical and double standards. You know it is. Come on, man. Come on. You know it is. If you really have looked at it from an unbiased viewpoint, you'll see, man, it is prejudice. It is hypocritical. It is meant to destabilize and keep things going and not stopping. And this is another blaming the symptom but not addressing what's causing it. So that's what I think about this whole cocaine import agency 1980s crack propaganda piece, predictive programming.